Principles. And I'm going to actually have to move some things around here. Hold on a second. There we go. All right. A system of care is how a community takes care of its own. System of care has been a set of principles and philosophy that was developed by, SAMHSA, literally probably in 1992-ish and before. And ever since then, SAMHSA has been putting out system of care grants, and some of you have been a participant in those grants. And they all encompass a philosophy and a set of principles that guide how we take care of our kids in our communities. Some of the principles include, it's a community assumes ownership for every youth and are responsive to the needs of the children, families, in their community. And it recognizes that child and family needs may not fit the services we have to offer. And so we have to develop sometimes new services and new supports for those youth. I'm going to summarize the core values of a system of care, and this is from Beth Struhl, Bob Friedman, Gary Blau. Family-driven and youth-guided is a primary value. So all services are driven by the family, they're guided by the youth, with the strengths and the needs of the child and family determining the types and mix of services and supports provided. The services are community-based. So not only are the services in the community, but how the system that manages them rests in the community as well. Services are culturally and linguistically competent, and they reflect the cultural, racial, ethnic, and linguistic differences of the populations they serve. There are about 10 or 11 guiding principles also in a system of care. Availability and access to a broad, flexible array of community-based services and supports, including traditional and non-traditional services, as well as natural and informal supports. Uniquely tailored services and supports based on the youth and family strengths and needs. So services are individualized. Services and supports are delivered in the least restrictive, most normative environments when at all safe and possible. Families and caregivers and youth are full partners with their expertise valued and utilized in all planning. Services include cross-system collaboration and service coordination utilizing a facilitated planning process. Many of you are familiar with the words wraparound and a wraparound planning process, one of the primary tools that system of care projects throughout the states use. In Ohio, we have both wraparound and service coordination. Services are integrated at every level, clinically, systems level, funding level, rules, and departments. And I think this is an area that many states work on to continue to improve on how we integrate across systems, as well as how we communicate across systems. Developmentally appropriate and resiliency-oriented services that promote wellness. System of care principle includes advocating for and protecting the rights of children and families across child-serving systems. It also includes mental health promotion, prevention, early identification, and intervention. Incorporates continuous accountability and quality improvement, as well as system funding. So these are the principles of a system of care that many folks, that we're trying to implement throughout Ohio, through our Engage grants and through some of our other system of care grants. So when we take a look at this, well, what does that really mean? So when I put this slide together, I thought, well, in general, what we have is a set of services that different communities have different sets of services, but in general, what services do we have that allow least restrictive environments for our kids? So do we have a set of home-based, community-based, mobile response, wraparound kind of services that are delivered in the home and community where the youth lives and functions? Are these services accessible to the families we're serving? Does it include family partnership? And is it comprehensive enough? So not only do we have services in a comprehensive system response, we also need to have a process for coordinating those services that cross over systems, that's facilitated, that is hopefully neutral to the parties that are meeting, and strength-based. So those words for me, when I put them together, say service coordination, they say wraparound. So when we think about where do we usually get these, we're normally getting these through our local FCFCs. And I'm going to talk about that here in a minute a little bit more. So we have a process for facilitating a unified plan across systems. We also have supports in a comprehensive system response. So do we have youth and family peer support? Do we have mentors? Do we have respite in our communities? Do we emphasize strategic accommodations to help our kids be successful? So what supports are there in each of our communities to help our kids? And then resources. What benefits, what funding sources do we have? Basic needs. What opportunities do we develop in our communities for kids to participate actively? And then how do we fund those resources as well? So a comprehensive system response for me includes services, supports, resources, and a process for planning the different services and supports the youth are getting. When I was working at our local FCFC, the thing that really struck me was that we had a lot of youth and families coming forward with very complex needs that was asking the community to respond in the best way they could. And we really do need a coordinating process for that. And we're asked to manage a lot of risk and safety issues of high-risk youth in the community. And for me, I always have said that it's always better to share the risk and share the burden and figure out how we can do this together across our systems, because I don't believe any single system can manage the multiple needs of youth that have multiple challenges. We have to do it together. The other thing that I've realized is that the more people you have involved in a child's life, the more complex the dynamics, and it leads to a lot of systemic confusion and confusion across systems and who's doing what and when, etc. And then we need a process to develop cross-system consensus-based decisions that involve the youth and the family. So what are the benefits of cross-system partnering? Brings people together that may have something different to offer than your system can provide. Assist systems in achieving their respective mandates. And it's the most cost-effective way to go as well. I want to link this to our local system of care infrastructure and planning process. And in many ways, Ohio has been ahead of the game in terms of building an infrastructure that supports cross-system work. And that is through our family and children's first councils that we have throughout our state, as well as the service coordination mechanism. And I put this slide in to emphasize that we've created an infrastructure in Ohio and that we have a service coordination mechanism that is defined in code in terms of that every county should have one. And that includes a neutrally positioned youth and family driven cross-system team planning process, i.e. service coordination or wraparound, that helps families in need. In Ohio, we've been working a lot through the Engage grants to develop high quality wraparound and service coordination for the past years, and we offer training and coaching for that. So what does this have to do with ECHO? So the reason I brought up Family and Children's First Councils is that one of the new enhancements that we're going to be doing with ECHO this year is working with our local FCFCs. And we want to centralize the referral process and the follow-up process through them and through the regional FCFC liaisons. We also want to increase connection of the ECHO recommendations back into the community, so there's better linkage back into the community. We're going to ask communities to conduct a service coordination or wraparound meeting as a follow-up to the ECHO recommendations. And then regional liaisons will be available to provide follow-up technical assistance to local communities and to relink with ECHO as they need. And so these are some enhancements that we put into this year's series, and we're hopeful that this will help in terms of the follow-up that's often needed once we're done. We also want to thank Sarah and her staff at the Ohio Family and Children's First Council in helping us implement this. And here's a slide we created that I'm hoping you can see it all, that summarizes the process for ECHO, both referral, right on through coming back to us if needed. And quickly, I'll just review this. So the FCFC regional liaison would triage referrals and send them to us at CIP. The FCFC coordinator would complete the ECHO case presentation form and share it with us so we can get it out to our ECHO hub. We would help, our CIP would work with the FCFC coordinator to prepare the information. The local team, like today, will present the case to the network, and we'll develop recommendations and send them back out to the team, presentation team. We would then add this new component, which is the FCFC coordinator conducts a service coordination meeting with the team locally. The liaison from FCFC provides technical assistance, and if needed, follows back up with the ECHO. And as a part of all of this, we'll collect information to see how we're doing. So that is our presentation for today. And when folks are wanting to get a hold of me in terms of information, my contact information is here, richard.chapler@case.edu. And I'm going to stop sharing.